electronic components are your driver, your splitter, and then your power terminal plugs. This is how you'll connect them to the track. First, you'll take your splitter and you'll plug it into the barrel jack of the power supply. Then you take on each side of your splitter, you'll plug your power terminal plug into one side, goes into the splitter for the one track, and the other side goes in for the other track. Also, when you're laying out your setup for the lighting electrical, every other standard you'll lay out a driver, 2 tracks, 1 splitter, and 2 power terminal plugs. And this is how it should look initially when you set it up. We're going to go ahead and install the tracks onto the produce. You put one 24-inch track on the left and one 24-inch track on the right. You want to make sure that your track is underneath the first notch so it can go onto, the shelf plugs can run underneath. The tracks will go on the uprights every other standard, and there'll be a track to the right and a track to the left. You can see the blue markers on the top and you can see the blue markers on the bottom here. The track will need, the beginning of it will need to sit at the top of the top shelf and come down to just position right underneath the bottom shelf. So the next step is to wind up your wires, keep them all nice, and then affix the driver to almost the bottom of the track. And you're going to stick that right at the bottom of the track, and then you're going to crunch your wires together, and then you're going to want to zip tie the power supply to the track. Yes. Make sure that right there you have your power terminal plug cables accessible, just in case there's any electrical while you're plugging the lights in, that you can make sure that you have access to those wires. So now we're going to install the shelf plug onto the shelf, and what you're going to need to do is go ahead and you're going to take the one end of the shelf plug and you're going to put it right into the track, and make sure that it is engaged, turn pointing downwards the same direction as your power terminal plug. Then your shelf plug will run underneath your shelf and it will go under. They have magnets that are actually attached to the shelf plug that will affix the shelf plug right onto the bracket of the produce, so you have no hanging wires. You also can move the magnets up and down the wire to position them where it may need to make sense to have the wire engaged so that they don't hang down. This is the video for the light installation. So you have your clips, your light, and a rub-it mallet makes it a lot easier to install the clips because they're quite sturdy. So the first thing you're going to do is each shelf will get 3 lights, 3 clips per light, and you have them there. And it's best on the left and the far right. You come in 5 spaces and affix them in. You can see just putting the mallet in, it just makes it a lot easier. Do the center, and then right. Perfect. Now you're going to go ahead and snap your light into the clips and make sure your power cord from the light is on the correct side. So you're going to install the light, and you're going to want to make sure that your power cord is facing the position of where the track and shelf plugs are going to be running. So you're going to clip your light into place right here. It just goes right into the clip, and make sure that it's secure. And then you can see that your the light power cord will clip in right to your shelf plug. And the lights are on. Then make sure you take your shelf plug and run it up the side of the bracket and make sure the magnets are fixed, that you have no loose or drooping cords, and any excess will go to the back onto the stander. So once you finalize installing all the lights, you need to plug them in to ensure that they work, and just run the quick check on it to make sure everything is functioning good. Also, you want to make sure all your cords are tucked in appropriately. Any excess, you want to have them in the back alongside the track. You also want to make sure when you're mounting your drivers or power supplies that they're going in the same area, the right side of your standard, so they're all in the same position, going all the way down the produce section.